Hi guys, today we're going to learn about dividing polynomials. The first method that we're going to use is long division. Okay, so we need to use polynomial long division to divide p of x is equal to 6x power 4 minus 4x power 3 plus 9x squared plus 5. And we need to divide that by 2x squared plus 1. And they ask you, is 2x squared plus 1 a factor of px? Okay, so what you need to realize is that this is going to be the dividend and this is going to be the divisor. Meaning this guy is going to be inside the division symbol. In addition to that, you need to make sure that your polynomial is in the correct order, meaning from the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. So you start with degree 4, degree 3, degree 2. You don't have a degree 1 and this is degree 0. In the same way that your divisor needs to be also from the highest exponent to the lowest. You have that this is 2, we don't have a 1, and this is going to be degree 0. Okay, so you go ahead and put your 6x power 4, and then you have that it's going to be minus 4x cubed plus 9x squared, and then you have a 0x. Why I have the 0x? Because I don't have degree 1, but I need the space for that one. That's why I put the 0. Okay, after that I put everything inside the division box. Okay, after that I know that my divisor, as if it was in elementary school, you know that it was 2x squared plus 0x plus 1. Okay, so this looks at a lot like your long divisions back in elementary. Okay, so what's our goal? Our goal here is you compare the 6x power 4 to the 2x squared. Okay, and your goal is to make this 2x squared a 6x power 4 with multiplying it times something to get this one. And you know that something multiplied times 2 that gives you a 6 is going to be 3. Okay, in addition, you know that here you have x squared, so, and here you have x power 4, so we need 2 x's, meaning x squared. Okay, so you know that if you times 3x squared times 2x squared, that's going to be 6x power of 4. Positive outside, you know that it needs to go negative inside the division box. Okay, then you multiply 3x squared times a 0. You know that that one is going to be a 0, so here you have that space is going to be a 0. You can put that plus. Then 3x squared times 1 is going to be positive 3x squared. Positive outside goes negative inside, so you have 3x squared here. Okay, at this point you do this line. Okay, what you can do is you cancel this one, combine like terms. In this case, you know that negative 4x cubed plus 0 is going to be negative 4x cubed. 9x squared minus 3x squared is going to be positive 6x squared. Okay, at this point what you need to do is you need to take down your next number, that in this case is the 0x. Okay, so you take down the 0x. Now you're going to, your goal is to analyze the negative 4x cubed, and you want this 2x squared to be negative 4x cubed. First and foremost, you realize that the sign is not the same, so the next number needs to be negative. In addition, a number that multiplies times 2 that gives you 4 is 2. And then you have x squared, but you want x cubed, so you need 1x. Okay, so you know that negative 2x times 2x squared is going to be negative 4x cubed. Negative outside comes positive inside. The same way that you know that negative 2x times 0 is going to be 0, so I just replace this one by 0. Then negative 2x times 1 is going to be negative 2x. Negative outside comes positive inside, so you have that that's positive 2x. So you do your little line so you can combine like terms. You cancel out the leading coefficient in this situation. Then you have that 6x squared plus 0 is going to be 6x squared. Then you know that 0 plus 2 is going to be positive 2. Okay, and then you take down your 5, your plus 5 in this situation. Okay, so at this point you are like, okay, so I have this 6x squared and I want this 2x squared to be the 6x squared. Okay, so you have the square, so you don't need extra x's, but you do need to multiply that 2 times 3. okay? So 3 times 2x squared is going to be positive 6x squared. Positive outside comes negative inside. Then 3 times 0x is going to be 0x, okay? 3 times 1 is going to be positive 3. Positive 3 outside goes negative inside. Okay, again, you combine, so you cancel out this. 2x plus 0x, that's a 2x. And then you know that 5 minus 3 is going to be positive 2. Okay, so at this point, I know because the degree of this equation is smaller than my divisor, the degree of my divisor, I'm done. Meaning this is your remainder, okay? So this is your remainder, okay? Therefore, now we can stop and we can write my quotient. What is the quotient? Your quotient is going to look like this. Quotient, okay, is going to be 3x squared minus 2x plus 3, that it comes from this one. Okay, and then you need to use your remainder, in this case 2x plus 2, and you divide it by the divisor, that it was 2x squared plus 1. Okay, so that's technically your answer. Okay, so now, is 2x squared plus 1 a factor of px? Well, since you have a remainder that it's different than 0, the answer is no. Okay, thus you have that 2x squared plus 1 is not a factor of p, okay? Specifically because the remainder is not 0, okay? Or it's different than 0, okay? So that's the main thing that you have for this problem. Okay, so for problem number 2, what we have is a similar situation. You also need to use polynomial long division to divide p of x, and p of x in this case is going to be 3x cubed minus 8x squared minus 21x plus 56, and you want to divide that by x squared minus 7. Okay, so please note that it's in order, okay, this one, and we have 3, 2, 1, 0, the degrees, and then this one we're missing just the degree 1, and again they are asking you if it's a factor or not. Okay, so what you're going to do here is pretty much the same as before. You have that it's 3x squared minus 8, and this is cubed, x squared, okay, minus 21x plus 56. Okay, so that's going to be inside your division box, and then you know that in this case the divisor is going to be x squared minus 7. You know that you are missing the x term, therefore I am going to put the 0 over here. Okay, so at this point you're like, oh, so what are we going to do? Well, what you're going to do here is you need to make this x squared a 3x cubed. So clearly we need the 3, and we need an extra x. So 3x times x squared is going to be 3x cubed. Positive outside goes negative inside. Then you do 3x times 0, x is going to be 0, okay? So you can just put the 0 there to save the space. Then 3x times negative 7 is going to be negative 21. Negative outside, negative 21 x outside comes positive inside. So you have a situation that looks like this. So you cancel this one, then you have negative 8x squared. And you cancel this one, but honestly I'm going to save the space with the 0 there. Okay, and then I take down the 56 that I have over here. Okay, so at this point, what do you want? Well, I want to get rid of that negative 8x squared. Okay, so this one I know that I need the negative and I need the 8. Okay, so you do negative 8 times x squared is negative 8x squared. Negative outside comes positive inside. Negative 8 times 0, you know that that one is going to be a 0. Okay, negative 8 times negative 7 is going to be 56. Positive outside goes negative inside. Okay, you do your combination here, you cancel. This is a 0, so it cancels, and this cancels. Therefore, what's your remainder? Your remainder is 0. Okay, therefore what do you have? You have that your quotient In this case, it's going to look very beautiful because it's just 3x minus 8. Okay, so what can you conclude? Thus, okay, I know that x squared minus 7 is a factor of p, okay, specifically because what? You know that the remainder, because the remainder is 0, okay? The second type of division that we have is synthetic division. Synthetic division, what you need to do is you need to take basically the factor, and then what you're going to do is, since technically you equalize the factor to 0, you have that your x is going to be, or the number that you want to divide it by is -1. Okay, so I have a -1. I'm going to put it inside this little window. Okay, after that, what you need to do again is you need to make sure that the polynomial that you have over here, it's in order from the highest degree to the lowest degree. In this situation, is not in the correct order, or it's not organized. So you want to put the highest degree first. So I would rearrange as 3x cubed, and then you would have 2x plus 5. Okay, so after that you realize that you are missing the second degree. Okay, so when we do synthetic division, we just take the coefficients. The coefficient of the degree 3 is going to be 3. Then the degree 2, you know that it's 0 because you don't have anything. Then the degree 1 is going to be 2, and the degree 0, the coefficient is 5. After that, what I do is I do this little line. Okay, and this is how the process goes. I put this arrow because I'm going to drop the 3. Okay, after that I multiply the 3 times the -1, which is a -3. I'll combine my 0 and my -3, adding or subtracting depending on what you have here. This is 0 minus 3, so this is going to be -3. Then you have -3 times -1, that's going to be +3. 2 plus 3 is going to be 5. 5 times -1 is going to be -5. And then you have that this is going to be 0. What is the meaning of this 0 that you have over here? That's the remainder. Okay, in case that you are like, what is that? That's the remainder. Okay, so in this situation, is x plus 1 a factor of px? It is, because the remainder is 0. Okay, moreover, you want to write the quotient, and when you write the quotient is again very beautiful in this situation, because you have that the quotient is going to be 3x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, so that's going to be your quotient. Okay, in addition, you're going to conclude thus x plus 1 is a factor, okay, of p because the remainder is 0. Okay, so with that you are done with number 6. Okay, so let's move on to number 7. You need to determine the value of k so that x minus 4 is a factor of x squared plus 8x plus k. Okay, so you're like, if they want me to investigate if x minus 4 is a factor, what we can do here is kind of like use synthetic division. Instead of having -4, you know that in the little house you're going to have here the window, the 4. After that, you need to organize your coefficients from the highest exponent to the lowest exponent coefficient. The first coefficient is 1. The second coefficient that you have is 8. And then the last coefficient that you have that it's a constant is the k. Similarly, we're going to do our line here. Okay, so we can keep everything organized. Okay, here I'm going to drop my 1. Okay, so 1 times 4 is going to be 4. Okay, so you know that 8 plus 4 is going to be 12. Okay, 12 times 4, that's going to be 48. Okay, and then you're like, well, then my remainder is k plus 48. Yes, but what do you want? Well, want k plus 48 to be equal to 0 because you want x minus 4 to be a factor. Okay, therefore, what do you have? Then you know that k is going to be equal to negative 48. And that's it for this one. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty simple problem. It seems a little bit obscure at the beginning, but it's not that bad. Okay, so for number 8, let's look at number 8. You have this expression that represents a volume. Okay, so v of x is equal to x cubed minus 13x plus 12. This represents the volume of a rectangular safe in cubic feet. Okay, the length of the safe is x plus 4. What linear expressions with integer coefficients could represent the other dimensions of the safe? Okay, you need to assume that the height is greater than the width. Okay, so we know that h is greater than w. Okay, in addition, you know from previous years that the volume of, in this case, a prism is going to be length times width times height. Okay, in addition to that, they gave you that for sure x plus 4 is going to be a factor of this. Why you know that it's a factor? Because you know that x plus 4 times another linear factor times another linear factor will give you this one. Okay, so I want to find w and h, but I need to use my L. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put my negative 4 inside the little window. Why negative 4? Because I need to change the sign of that one. Remember, technically what we do is we equalize this to 0. Okay, after that I need to put my polynomial, okay, over here, not the polynomial but the coefficients of the polynomial in order. Okay, so I know that it's polynomial degree 3. Okay, my first coefficient is 1, my second coefficient I don't have degree 2, so it's going to be a 0. Then degree 1 is going to be negative 13 and degree 0 is going to be 12. Okay, so you have this equation. After that we do our little line. Okay, after that we drop the 1, so you have 1 times negative 4. Okay, so you have negative 4 and 0, that's negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4, that's going to be 16. Negative 13 plus 16, that's going to be positive 3. Positive 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And as is expected, this is remainder 0, which we already knew. Okay, so what do you have? We have, okay, that basically w times h is going to be the next polynomial, x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so this is equal to w and h, the multiplication of this. Okay, so from here you are like, oh wait, I can factor this because this is pretty simple. I know that two numbers that when I multiply them give me positive 3, and when I add them or subtract them they give me negative 4. Those are going to be x, minus 3 and minus 1. Okay, and then you're going to tell me, hey, how do I know which one is h and which one is w? Well, they give you some useful information here. Assume that the height is greater than the width. For this problem, you know, for the context of the problem, your x needs to be 0 or more. Actually, it needs to be positive. Okay, so here what you have is that this number is always going to be greater, okay, x minus 1 rather than x minus 3, so the one that it's big is h. Okay, so you know that h is going to be equal to x minus 1 feet, and then w is going to be equal to x minus 3 in feet. For the last problem of this section, what you need to use is again synthetic division, and you have the polynomial 9x cubed minus 18x minus 12, and you want to divide that by 9x plus 6, and you're like, well, here I'm a little bit confused or tormented because I have a 9x plus 6. Okay, so what you're going to do here, before you have that all the synthetic division, it was x plus or minus something, aka the coefficient, the leading coefficient of this linear factor, it was always 1. Here you see that it's a 9. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we can modify it. You know that what we want to do with the division is we want to divide this polynomial, okay, by this one that we have over here. Okay, so you want this. Okay, this is what we want. You know that if I multiply times 1, this situation, that doesn't affect the behavior of my polynomials. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to multiply top and bottom times 1/9 and 1/9. Okay, so I'm going to, why I do the 1/9? Because I want my leading coefficient to be 1. Okay, if you are wondering why she's doing this, that's why. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to distribute 1/9 times this one is going to be x cubed. 1/9 times negative 18x is going to be negative 2x. 1/9 times negative 12, that's going to be negative 4 divided by 3. And last but not least, we're going to multiply and distribute the 1/9 times 9x, which you know that it was the x, and 1/9 times positive 6, that's going to be positive 2/3. Okay, now that basically my linear factor is the coefficient, the leading coefficient is 1, then what you do is you start your synthetic division. Okay, what are you going to put inside the house? Well, your factor here is x plus 2/3, so what you're going to put inside the little window here is going to be negative 2/3. Then you're going to use this as your main polynomial, so it's going to be 1, then you have a 0 because you don't have a quadratic term, negative 2, and negative 4/3. After that, we do our little line here to keep everything organized. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I drop my 1 times negative 2/3, that's going to be negative 2/3, 0 minus 2/3, that's going to be negative 2/3, negative 2/3 times negative 2/3, that's going to be the beautiful number of 4 divided by 9. Then you know that negative 2 plus 4/9, that's going to be negative 14/9. Negative 14/9 times negative 2/3, that's going to be 28 divided by 27. Really interesting number. Okay, after that, well, you combine here the negative 4/3 plus 28 divided by 27, and when you combine that, you have the beautiful number negative 8 divided by 27, and that's your remainder. Okay, remember that's your remainder. Okay, so what is the quotient? Well, the quotient is going to be all this beautiful thing. Okay, so the quotient is going to be x squared minus 2/3x minus 14/9. Okay, and then you have that it's going to be minus 8/27, everything divided by, in this case, it would be x plus 2/3. Wow, it looks a little bit ugly. I mean, you can simplify this, okay? I'll simplify it at the end, okay? I'll simplify it a little bit more. Actually, I can simplify it. Let me get another piece of paper. Okay, so if we want to simplify it more, what you can do is technically you can multiply everything times, not everything, this part 27, okay? So what I would do here is, okay, let me do it pretty quickly here so you can see it. Okay, let me just copy the situation. Okay, what I would do, I will multiply this times 27 top and bottom. Okay, so what you have in this situation, it would be x squared minus 2/3x minus 14/9, and then you have that this is going to be equal to negative 8, and then you have that 27 is going to be 27x. Okay, and then it's going to be plus 18. Okay, so this is also correct. Okay, so you don't have your fraction, too many fractions here. Okay, so this is correct. Okay, so let's keep answering the last question. For b, is 9x plus 6 a factor of bx? The answer is going to be obviously no, because my remainder is not 0. Okay, so no, because the remainder is not 0.